Good, happy Friday evening, February 14, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday evening, so let's begin. First up, body of missing where man 89 found near his car, police say. The missing where man has been missing since Tuesday. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Horror, comedy, podcast, join us. Hi.
And also breaking this noon, Massachusetts police have found the body of a missing wereman. Police say they found Gerard LeMay in Haverhill, Massachusetts this morning, not far from his car. LeMay was last seen Tuesday morning. Police say they do not suspect foul play, but the investigation is ongoing.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man accused of attacking supporters of President Trump at New Hampshire polling place. Prosecutors say man slapped teenage boy, punched man. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
This is a big screw-up.
34-year-old Patrick Bradley told the judge he is sorry for what happened Tuesday night. He is charged with simple assault and disorderly conduct.
This appeared to be a completely unprovoked attack.
Court paperwork says that on his way in to cast his ballot at the Wyndham High School, Bradley allegedly cursed at President Trump supporters in their tent. On his way out, the affidavit says a teenage Trump supporter allegedly said, "Good night, sir," to Bradley, and the defendant slapped the teen in the face. As a man ran to help, Bradley allegedly punched him in the face, loosening a tooth, and then pushed another man who tried to intervene. In arguing for cash bail, the prosecutor noted that Bradley has a criminal history.
His history of 2 prior convictions of simple assault, felony reckless conduct, and drug-related activity also go to the fact that he's a danger.
My previous convictions out of Stratford County were due to mental health problems, and this is a continuation of that.
Police say that Bradley also attempted to trash the tent and threw signs around. As part of their bail argument, the prosecution said Bradley is also a flight risk.
He does have some history of a failure to appear in Massachusetts. He does have the prior fugitive from justice charge.
I don't know what to do to ensure you that I am not a flight risk and I am not a danger. I'm willing to be put on an ankle bracelet to monitor where I'm at.
Bradley is charged with 3 counts of simple assault, 1 count of disorderly conduct. He will remain in jail for now on a probation violation. His bail set at $5,000 cash or surety. Reporting live in Derry, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. For mumps cases confirmed, 2 probable cases identified at UNH, officials say. Vaccines made available to friends of students. 4 cases of mumps have been confirmed at the University of New Hampshire over the past 2 weeks, state health officials said Friday. 2 other probable cases of mumps infections in students have also been identified, officials said. The 6 students are close contacts of each other and there's no sign of a wider outbreak on campus, officials said. Health officials said all the students have been vaccinated, but it's still possible for some vaccinated people to develop the mumps, and there is evidence that the vaccine effectiveness can decline over time. A third dose of the vaccine has been shown to increase immunity, and health officials said they're making the vaccine available to some other students who have contact with the infected students. Mumps is an acute viral infection typically characterized by swelling and tenderness of one or more cerebral glands, officials said. It can also cause fever, headaches, muscle soreness, and malaise. Most people have mild symptoms and recover within a few weeks, but some people develop more serious symptoms, including meningitis, encephalitis, or deafness. Mumps is spread through respiratory droplets, and infected individuals are most infectious for 2 days before symptoms onset until 5 days after. The virus will usually incubate in an exposed person for 16 to 18 days, but incubation period can range from 12 to 25 days, health officials said. Last year, there were more than 3,400 mumps infections in the United States, and health officials said the number of mumps outbreaks has been increasing nationally since 2012. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Friday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Friday evening. Stocks close little change, but post a gain for the week. Stocks were little changed on Friday, but notched a gain for the week as Wall Street designated the latest batch of consumer data and earnings. 15th coronavirus case confirmed in the U.S. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
The coronavirus emergency, a 15th case, has now been confirmed in the U.S. as we learned that American celebrating his retirement on the Diamond Princess cruise ship has now come down with the virus. Maggie Rulli is there in Japan with the latest. And Maggie, they're now letting people off the boat to finish their quarantine on land.
Yeah, Michael, the idea is to start getting people off of this boat, and today was the first phase, but the number of people who actually qualified and wanted to get off the boat was much lower than we expected. This morning, the evacuation of that cruise ship holding more than 3,600 people on quarantine began with a trickle.
To start this process, 11 guests have chosen to be disembarked.
The captain announcing 11 people chose to leave. The first wave tested are passengers over 80 years old, as well as people with pre-existing conditions.
I don't know how they're going to get through all these test results very quickly.
Passengers have been on board for more than 25 days and under quarantine for 9. Officials finding more than 200 cases of the virus on board. Today, John Herring became one of them. We've been following John and his wife Melanie all week. They're on board celebrating his retirement. But a few days ago, he came down with a 103-degree fever. Today, he tested positive for the virus.
I'm alone here in the room, and I would rather be back on the cruise ship.
Now in an isolated hospital room, he was forced to leave his wife Melanie behind on board.
This is basically just a waiting game right now.
Back in the U.S., a 15th confirmed case, this time in San Antonio, Texas. People on board the Diamond Princess tell us they feel like the cruise line is doing everything they can. But guys, at the end of the day, it's not the cruise, it's the Japanese Ministry of Health that decides who gets to come off of this ship and when. Cecilia?
Tough conditions there. Okay, Maggie, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.